Signal Chasers.
Hello Internet and welcome back to Signal Chasers. I have a little confession I need to make. So, you may notice I'm standing here on an empty connector. That connector had our miner on it, which is a vital piece of equipment that we're going to need to get the resources and fuel to launch this ship to not the moon. Well, I kind of blew it up. So, in between the episodes, in between my recordings, I'll usually come on and partially just make sure that, everything is still here. And partially I'd try and come on and get some of the boring stuff that I'd just be editing out of the video anyway, done. So that's things like a bunch of resource mining, mining ice is what I happen to be doing, I can show you. So I made a ship-sized hole, it goes all the way down to what was actually a more sizable ice deposit than I realized just from mining at the corner where I've been. Yeah, I was filling things up. The ship actually has, it's not much hydrogen, but if we hop in here, we have about 8%, which is pretty good, all things considered. I've also let all the refinery resources process, so we don't actually have any ore on board. Power is looking pretty good. I've found with these 4 solar panels and the base and the ship not doing anything, it actually gets enough charge through the day to work. So all that's good. The only trouble is I need more fuel, I believe, and I don't have a miner. So I think what I'm gonna do is, first thing, rebuild maybe a little more simple miner, possibly using ion. Nope, can't use ion thrusters. I have the platinum but no gold. I remember that now. We'll build a fairly simple hydrogen miner, maybe put some, armor around it to protect it. Then, essentially we continue the plan, fill this thing up with ice, give it enough fuel to take off, hopefully have enough stuff kind of on board that I don't have to come back to the moon, and then we live in space. So I guess first order of business, let's get everything turned on again. And now we start building a new little miner. And I say little, it may not actually be... Oh. Stop that, you. It may not actually be as little as I'm sort of envisioning. So we'll have, I think, 1 large cargo container. Then... Ooh, do I do a cockpit? I could simplify this vessel a little bit. Nah, I think a cockpit will be good. I was thinking maybe I make a mining drone, because in theory, I don't need... The main thing I need it for is ice for hydrogen, which is right here, so I don't need a long range. I would like to be able to go and get more platinum, but I could in theory do that with a drone and an antenna. But I think honestly it's going to be easy and just have it flown separately and, make it work from there. Now I do want to improve fuel on this thing, so I think I'll do that. I'll still use the small tanks, but I'll have 8 of them. And then I can use conveyors to kind of link all the stuff up. Yeah, I'm gonna have to use that. But if I do like that, then have my cockpit on there. Ooh, actually. So I can put all the maneuvering thrust in with the hydrogen, which sounds maybe, you know, not the wisest, but I think it'll be fine. And actually, right, oh no, right in the middle there, I need a connector for the cargo container. So we'll just do all this. That means I could get rid of that. This is complex. I think right in the middle there, we'll go ahead and stick our gyroscope. And I should be able to run pipes down each side to the cockpit. Then off the front of the cockpit here, I'll have our drills. And I'm thinking more drills this time for quicker mining. Then at the back, I'll have a connector for the connecting. Ooh. And for... How do I want to do reverse thrust? And for reverse thrust, I can just have these little things sticking off the ends of these tanks. And that gives me 2 small thrusters in each direction, which will hopefully be enough to lift this thing. That's all the lifting thrust I planned, so I'll know pretty quick. Yeah, that plus gyroscope. That should be enough that I can sort of make it work. And then maybe I'll just have like a little roll cage over the whole thing to maybe help if I smack into stuff. Oh, and power. Shoot, I forgot that. This'll work perfectly. Oh, except it won't. So my thought is, if I raise the cockpit up like this, I could have the drills coming off here. I can have my battery under here. Ooh. Okay. Little convoluted. So I'll have my drills there. My cockpit's up here. It's not actually connected through to everything. Got my battery down there. But I have these lower areas with connectors on them. I can run some pipes down each side. So up here I've got my reverse and forward thrust. Down here I have pipes that connect my drills up. And consequently connect the cockpit so that when I dock, the cockpit should fill with oxygen, so I'll have a little bit of breathing time. Should still have room for all of my thrusters to maneuver around. Yeah, I think this design will work. Okay, now to get all the junk to build it. Alright. So that's all that stuff built. Now, I should be able to, if I had the bits for it. So I can worm this stuff in here. Maybe not. Okay. I think that's enough. So I can worm these things in here, weld them up, and that'll give me the ability to place thrusters in this whole little fuel ring. So let's go ahead and hopefully get a bunch of steel. Oh, that unknown signal's close. And let's go get it. And the benefit here too is this should give me hopefully a few more useful parts. I don't think this one has much on it. Woohoo, another rainbow helmet. Ooh. Now remember, canvas comes out of these. Oh, and I can get this light off. Very scary. There we go. Alright, perfect. Well, nope, that's not where I want you. Stick thrusters there. In there. In there. Under here. And then each side. Kind of like that. So hopefully that's enough thrust. And hopefully I have the parts to build it all. Okay. Thrusters. Now the last thing I need yeah, is a let's go ahead and turn off the thrusters real quick. So last thing I need is a temporary addition of this O2H2 generator, because I need some way to get fuel on board. Now, maybe would have been smart to have a O2H2 gen just as part of this. I did realize after building the battery, I could have stuck it here quite easily, and then maybe use small batteries along the side of the cockpit or something. That would have been smarter, because I don't need all that power for this. But, you know, here we are. So now, we'll use the big hole. Now we just have to mine some ice by hand, because we're never going to get away from that, or at least, well, not if I keep blowing up the mining vehicles. So if we stick this ice on board, hopefully I'll get enough fuel that I can dock to the connector.
Energy low.
Over here, and then it'll fill up from what we have in the tank, and then I can start ice mining. Okay, well, it's doing something. Kinda slow, but it'll work. I guess... Oh, that's something I need, is an ore detector. Maybe right under there. Right, or would there be... Yeah, I think under there is going to be the most seamless spot. And then maybe we Get a bit of steel and do some armor shaping. Okay. Yeah, it kind of reminds me... I feel like there's a sea creature, like some sort of shrimp that looks like this. They're the type that fly backwards, or I guess swim backwards when they're threatened. But I think that should do the job. Definitely a little weird looking, but has just a bit of armor so that hopefully if I bump into something I don't immediately destroy the important bits. Part of the plan is just to be cautious with it. But I do believe... Yep, I'm out of ice. How much fuel do I have? Don't know why it's real excited to take off. So I think we'll go ahead and do that. 27 ought to be enough to get it over to the connector. Probably should have turned the thrusters on first, though. I'm kind of thinking... feel like it needs... something going on down the sides. This is important critical function, the stylings of the miner. And we can think of it as a, public relations. If I encounter somebody out at the mining patch and I've got the snazzier miner, they're going to be like, oh, well, this guy's clearly, more accomplished and therefore more deserving of these valuable ores that we have. So they'll just kind of give way and let me at them. If I come up in some scrub miner, they're just going to blow me up with bullets. I think this thing actually looks pretty slick. In a bulbous and unaerodynamic way. Also, I've got my handy things are full, turn them off LCD, which I'm going to set up. And it'll be kind of fun because I'm using the new hologram LCD thing. When it's off, you can see it's just that little thing up there in the corner. Now, one thing I have forgotten. Ooh, looks like someone got thing removed. That always sucks. So one thing I do need on here, though, is a... well, I need 2 event controllers. Yeah, I may tuck them in either side of that. So, that is some interesting intel. I wonder if I've just been lucky that not a lot of people seem to be on the moon. Therefore, I've not been targeted. Because I'm just out in the open. If we pull up, so from the sound of this chat, yeah, there are some factions out there that are non-friendly. Actually, that first person, the warning at the beginning for this server does warn that respawn pods will be deleted when you leave, so grind them down and rebuild from them. Yeah. So it looks like maybe that was their own fault. So it looks like the creature I'm thinking of is just shrimp, not any particular shrimp. So I guess this will be the shrimp miner. Okay. So that should be everything set up. I've got my docking my docking control-y thing and my cargo full thing. So if we have switch lock on that, should be all I need. So now, the moment of truth. Thrust on. Okay. We can fly fairly easily. We do use fuel fairly quickly. But that was a given. Okay. Docked up. tanks are filling. While we're at it, that's a good shrimp color. Oh no, that's bubblegum pink. That's not shrimp. That looks a little better. What does shrimp? We're just gonna be going off stylings of shrimp in my mind. And I feel like they would have little light color streaks. Probably could have looked up, you know, what does a shrimp look like? And use that as inspiration. Oh boy. It's Barbie and Space Engineers. You know what? Shrimp Miner. Here it is. Here it will stay. I think this is... Yeah, it's gonna stand out. I was talking about before about intimidating enemies away from my ore deposits. Okay. Well, first order of business. Let's take off and see if we can't get a bunch of ice on board. I may... Oh, that's another thing I need is, drills. So... sort of fatal flaw with this hole. Oh, I just realized another thing this is missing. That's any sort of ejection system. Right, back up we go. I always seem to do this with miners, as I get all the way, you know, everything's built and ready to go. Then I remember I need some way to eject the stuff I don't want. Actually, it may be fairly simple on this. So... So if I change how these pipes are laid, what I can do is run pipe there, pipe there, and then do my swoop down right at that moment. Then I need more bits. So if I, in this corner right along the battery, stick my ejectors and whatnots, I can then have those running right down there. It's still fairly compact. I can, if I want, stick some armor plate there to kind of, you know, continue that line. And it should eject all the stuff I need to eject. Okay. Now we've got stuff. Should be able to set those up. I think instead of just shrimp, maybe king shrimp. King shrimp sounds more fitting because it is a rather large miner for being called a shrimp. We don't have to change those though. Whoops. Okay, that's not supposed to happen. Stop that. I mean, I guess the gravel I can get rid of. I'm hoping that's all stuff that just ended up in these. Because they should only be able to get stone into them. mean, it doesn't strictly matter because they shouldn't be on when I'm connected, but I don't want it to, suck a little bit in and get it out before everything turns off. Now, the downside is this is a bit larger of a ship than the old miner was, which kind of defeats the purpose of making something that's less likely to crash into tunnels that it digs. It's also going to be a fair bit heavier. I hope I have enough lift to actually get it out of the tunnel with a full load. Let's go ahead and just kind of do like that and smooth our entrance a bit. Also make it a little easier to get at this ice. Now in theory, once I'm off the moon, range on this thing isn't going to matter. Because one, it'll only be using thrust for maneuvering, not for keeping itself lifted. And it shouldn't need to fly as far on its own because I'll be flying the whole ship in. Also, that was fun. The cargo full thing popped up. It's, I can see through it and it's not there, but then it just appears. I guess the old one was kind of like that, but less fancy. Hold on. One of those... That was just ejecting ice. Okay, I set up one of my things wrong.
Inventory full.
That's not ideal. That explains why it was just kind of throwing out all the stuff as I was going. Ooh, also, we are very heavy. I may need more
Inventory
thrust
full.
to operate this thing on the moon. Okay. Right. Yep, it does not have enough lift. Okay. Well, this has been a success. Let's see if we can't land at the bottom of this crater. And turn off our dampeners. Well, luckily I have all the points around the cargo container, or around the connector available. Just hoped I wouldn't have to use them. Okay. Now, can I... Oh. Okay, that should be it. Put that down there. Now, hopefully I have enough... Yes, I can lift. Now, the trouble is... I can't go... I can't get back out the hole in this situation. I'm gonna have to hope that I can get up by doing this and not lose fuel as I go. Or, well, not run out of fuel as I go. It's not easy because this is not a convenient way to see. Okay, I think I'm coming out. I'm passing the silver vein. And the tunnel's widened here. 40% fuel. Okay. And we didn't explode. Ooh, this mining business is tricky. Alright. Well, I think that's where I'm going to call this episode. Again, I really wanted to be able to launch. I don't like that I'm stuck here. And all the talk of, well, brigands and thieves about is kind of getting me worried too, but I don't have the fuel. How much ice did I get? Let's hold on a minute. I mean, that's a fair bit. I mean, the tank is filling. How much fuel do I need? You know what? Screw it. We have some fuel. We shouldn't need much to get off the moon. Okay. How do I launch this thing? I think I want to angle myself beforehand. So maybe piston and hinge time. If I can basically sit on the tail with the big hydrogen booster, I shouldn't need much to lift off. And then I'll just find asteroids and go from there. Worst case, I know where platinum is. If I can get enough fuel up in space from an asteroid, I can just come back and mine that. Or heck, the shrimp miner can probably come down, mine some ice, and take off. Maybe. I may have to modify it further. Okay. Alright. I have a leg. Now we break the mooring. Probably go up here and convert it to a ship. Yes. Alright. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're a ship. Now, I need the piston to extend. Alright, we are extended. Now, this is going to be the tricky part. I need the hinge to not go back that fast. Let's set our limit to like -60. That doesn't look right. You know what? We're angled up. Okay. Let's do this. So. Thrusters on and unlocking in 3, 2, here we go. Oh, okay. hinge is weird. It didn't unlock. Up we go. Oh, I just realized something I forgot. There's no gyroscope on board. Oh boy. Okay. We're space bound. Oh, we're spinning. That'd be the lack of gyroscope. Gravity is letting off. Oh, we had plenty of thrust. Oh no, what I was so worried about. We barely used any fuel. In fact, I think my trajectory, yep, we're in space. We're gonna use more fuel stopping now that we're up here. Okay. Easy as pie. Minus the spinning. So, let's build a gyroscope real quick. And then, are there any asteroids out here? I'd like to find an asteroid that I can hide myself at. But I do not know if there are any about. I mean, I'm sure some exist somewhere, but I'll have to hunt them down. Oh, wow, these are expensive. I hope I have enough stuff to build a gyroscope, because I just left the convenient source of iron. No, I think I'm building... I think that was 2 gyroscopes worth of parts ordered. Well, okay. We have a miner, and we're in space. I don't really know what my next step is, aside from I need to try and find somewhere safe to hide up here, and then, well, I guess first order of business is I need to find an asteroid with ice on it. Then from there I need to find gold so I can build thruster components and a jump drive. Then I build the ship. So I guess now it's resource collection and... Ooh, there's an asteroid. I'll head to that maybe once I'm ready and we'll figure out what's there. But yeah, for now, let's get a mighty shot. So for now, thank you everybody so much for watching. Feel free to check out any of the other stuff I've done or become a member with that member button if you want to support the channel. Until next week, bye-bye.